Yeah, 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 yeah. It's recording. So there are 56.
Yeah, I think we can start off the sleep.
You can start off, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, good evening, one and all. On behalf of Rotary District 3190 and Rotary Bangalore Manyata, I would like to warmly welcome our panelist, Rotarian S. Jayaraman sir, District Director, Disease Prevention, Audit Cataract, co-founder, Beautiful Bangalore, who is campaigning this Stop India Spitting Movement, Dr. Kunal Sharma, SRL Diagnostics, member of COVID Consultative Group, medical advisor to GOK, and our moderator, Rotarian Rajesh Hiremat, District Director, Community Service. Sir, I welcome you all for this webinar on this World TB Day. It gives me immense pleasure to be able to organize this event and be a part of such an esteemed group of people from all walks of life. So we have all seen what COVID-19 has done to the globe. So one moment we had happy faces going about their jobs and life, and then in an instant, all that joy was gone. Jobs were lost, people lost their loved ones, and hospitals were flooded with the sick. In short, we were all experiencing a traumatic event that we will never be able to forget in the years to come. And this is undoubtedly going down in history. But we need to do everything in our power to stop such pandemics from happening in the near future. And it starts with a simple thing, awareness and education of something as basic as spitting. You walk down the roads, you see people spitting and coughing anywhere and everywhere. Basically, you go anywhere, you will find some people doing this in shops, in malls, in restaurants. Coughing and sneezing all out in the open with no mask is one of the biggest causes of bacteria and viruses spreading from one person to another. And COVID-19 was a great eye opener when it came to this. Well, this isn't just for COVID-19, and many people are still unaware that many diseases can spread this way. TB being one of the greatest, every year in India, around 4.5 lakh people died due to TB compared to 1.5 lakh due to COVID. One cough releases up to 5,000 plus droplets. Hence, TB prevention is a priority as much as is COVID. Our agenda is simple. Stop spitting and stop others from spitting anywhere and everywhere to teach our people coughing ethics, building awareness towards these basic hygiene practices so that we all can live in a better disease-free world. So this all started when we met, when Jaraman sir introduced me to Audit, and I think on Rotary Day, that was Paul Harris Day on 23rd of last month, where we started Stop Spitting campaign. And this is the second event what myself, Jairaman sir, and Audit, we are together, what we are doing together. So I will stop for now. I think I I will request Rajesh Shiramet to take over from here. Yeah, Rajesh, sir.
Yeah, hi, Tasleel. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah. So, very good evening, all of you, and thank you all for joining this interesting program today. So, we have, as Tasleel was, talking about some of the points on tuberculosis. Most of us, take it for granted that TB is all gone. It was a thing of the past. We don't give that importance to this particular disease. Today, we have with us some eminent personalities who will be able to, enlighten all of us on the criticalities of TB, how to overcome, and what precautions we need to take and all. So let me have the pleasure in introducing the panelists for today's discussion. And before I do that, I should also introduce Tasleel, Mohammad Tasleel, who is the president of Bangalore Rotary Bangalore Manyata. He has been one Rotarian. I have not seen a guy like him. Every day he has been doing one or the other service project. Hats off to you, Tasleel.
Thank you,
The,
sir. Thank you
the
so much. Yeah.
service projects what you have driven all through. I think it's amazing. Really, kudos to all to you and your entire team of Rotary Manyata. Thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So on the panel today, we have some very interesting people here. Let me introduce Dr. Kunal Sharma. Dr. Kunal Sharma serves as the section head and consultant, oncopathologist at SRL Diagnostics and Fortis Hospital. He also is in charge of the Reference Center of Excellence for Uropathy and of flow cytometry in South Zone. He's an expert in oncopathology and has delivered talks and presentations at numerous forums nationally, like Indian Cancer Congress, IASO, YROC, OncoCon, BCFI-CON, JNMC Belgaum, and he has also delivered international conferences like PATSOC in UK, Nigerian Medical Association, Global Cancer Congress at Tokyo, Dhaka Medical Association Bangladesh, Lymphoma and Myeloma Congress at New York. Amazing to have such a person here, with an international exposure. He has numerous publications too, in addition, and in the national and international journals. He is also a member of the COVID consultative group as in charge of COVID detection program and serves as a medical advisor to the government on the same. He has been very instrumental in many policies around COVID testing in Karnataka. Some of his noteworthy contributions have been the development of mobile testing kiosks, mobile fever clinics in remodeled KSRTC buses designed in Karnataka under office of the Honorable MP Tejasvi Surya. He is also responsible for major policy changes, some of which include abolishment of the mandatory IDSP approvals for testing in the initial phase. This increased testing by nearly 40%. He catalyzed sharing of genetic material for research around coronavirus for vaccine and kit development, and also ideated provision of testing reports to the patients directly. He's a member of the COVID Raksha team of MP Tejasvi Surya and has been one of the key people in the state to formulate and improve testing strategies time to time. He was also awarded the COVID State Welfare Icon of the Year from Healthwide Media and is a part of the most major healthcare decision makings in both public and private sectors. Dr. Kunal, it's a pleasure to have you. It's an honor to have you amongst us today. Hearty welcome to you.
Thank you, sir. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, and then I think we have another, very interesting profile here with us, Odette. I actually met this lady yesterday, and I had seen her doing, some meaningful act even earlier also. Odette Katrak is an environment and sustainability change maker working for a cleaner city and a greener planet through Beautiful Bengaluru, a citizens initiative she co-founded. Now evolved to Beautiful Bharat. She drives this citywide movement for change now with an extended reach of campaigns across other cities as well. Odette has a professional experience of over 30 years, including as a soft skills trainer and consultant working on behavior change. For the last decade, she has been additionally working on environment and social issues, including road and child safety. Odette is also a writer, and through her articles, which have been published so many times in the Times of India, pushes for the active involvement of every resident to be the change. She describes all these as little steps towards a perfect world She is the recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award of XLRI Jamshedpur for her contribution to the society. Her efforts have been recognized by the Haryana government for her work on road safety in Gurgaon. She was also featured in the Suburb magazine as one of the Gurgaon's most celebrated women and a crusader touching lives of the larger community by her will and consistent effort. Her contributions saw her discussing road safety on national television live with Amir Khan and Transport Minister Gadkari in a follow-up Satyamev Jayate episode. Her document School Safety Guidelines is on the Gurgaon Police website. Her contributions to safeguarding school children after the rape murder of 11-year-old. She is familiar face in the environment and sustainability space. She believes that every individual can make a difference and lives each day with a quest to make a deep impact through sustainable interventions while continuing to inspire everyone around her to lead a better life that is kinder to the planet. Her most priority, the current priority is one of the most challenging to stop India spitting. But in other words, it is one can convert the COVID pandemic into a turning point for spitting in India. As decades later, when people look back at COVID as an event that stopped the world in its tracks, it could also be remembered as a milestone that stopped spitting in India. She has been a crusader in the fight against spitting in public places and is championing this nationwide movement. For her efforts, she was recognized by NDTV as a COVID warrior in the 2021 Republic Day series through the program Banega Swasth India, the Corona Warriors. Odette, it's really a privilege to interact with a resource like you. We need more Odettes to reform India and to drive home the culture what the youngsters would need. Thank you so much, and we would love to hear from you later today. And the third speaker we have, is our own personality, Rotarian Jairaman. Rotarian Jairaman, all the Rotarians, I think he's a very well-known name in Rotary. His passion for service, his connects with the various NGOs, the initiatives he works have made him the man to go for any service project. So the DG is relieved. The governor does not think too much when Jairaman is involved. And electronics and communications engineers by profession, he worked as a director of operations of a US headquartered startup software company's Bangalore operation. And since 2010, he's been fully committed to service activities through Rotary and outside Rotary. He's the founder trustee of Nayana Jyoti Trust with focus on creating eye donation awareness. He created a new approach, an easy way of pledging through SMS, which was driven statewide. He was honored by the Union Health Minister for the work done in this area. IPDP is another area where he's majorly contributing, integrated project for development of people. He's a president for that. They provide food for 12,500 school children daily through the Akshara Dasoha program, providing food for 300 senior citizens every day and 1,200 senior citizens every Sunday. Running a preschool and Asha Kiran hospital, handling 15,000 strong self-help group, providing rupees 10 crore plus loan linkage, installed and handling 11 RO plants in Pavagada district for Tata Solar Power, tailoring and computer training centers in Bangalore and Tipto. Sankhya is another very significant contribution from him. We have donated around 10,000 refurbished computers and installed huge number of e-learning centers. His contributions, towards a lot of NGOs like Sri Ramana Free Clinic, Vishranti Home for Senior Citizens, he has supported Rotary Orchards as administrator for the Rotary Chaitanya Senior Citizens Home, advisor for an NDSO, a network of 1,500 NGOs in Tamil Nadu, Sumangali Seva Ashram, Gopal Vidya Kendra, Cancer Care India, so many more guys. I'll probably paste his, some of his accomplishments on the chat window also for you to, go through. His service accomplishments is unparalleled, and Rotary is glad to have such a passionate leader like you, Jairaman sir. Thank you, and we look forward to hear from you also here on this day.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you very much.
So now, Odette, I will hand it over to you. Do you want us to talk a few lines about TB before we go on to the panel discussion?
Yeah, so the fact of us being here today, everyone, good evening, everyone, first of all, and it's a pleasure to be on this panel. The fact that we chose today for this event, this webinar, is today's World TB Day, as we all know. And TB is something which has been taken for granted in our country. Nobody has bothered about it, just like the subject of spitting, which is what I'm anchoring. It's been there for generations in our country. But what has changed? What has actually made it change is the fact that COVID brought into the picture, the focus that spitting cannot continue as it's continuing. So with that in mind, the campaign was launched a year back and people started listening. But today, now with World TB Day, COVID will go away one day soon, we hope, sooner or later. TB is here to stay because of the magnitude of this. And Dr. Kunal, when he comes in, is going to give you much more in terms of how big a problem it is for the country. But we felt it is the perfect time to pull in the added anchor, the angle or the platform of TB, because COVID was the launch for this Stop India Spitting campaign. But TB is equally, if not more important, because it affects a larger number of amount of the population. And one of the key things I think on this is, at one time it used to be a poor man's disease, but as we are going to see in the video that just follows, if a poor man on the street who's a TB patient coughs, that 1 ml of his infected sputum has 10,000 tuberculosis bacteria. And any person who walks by in that area in a short while, or even not such a short while, is the next victim of TB. He can be a poor man, he can be a rich man, and it does not choose, just like COVID. COVID has hit people across all sectors. And that, I think, sets the context for why this is so critical, that we address TB as the real threat it is. I'm always very happy. World Water Day was 2 days ago. Today is World TB Day. As I say, I'm always grateful for these chances that are milestones to remind the rest of citizens what these milestones mean and what is our responsibility in each of them. So Tasleel, if you can please play the video. There are 2 of them. I think the very short one we can keep for later at the end as a wind-up video. We can play the 3-minute one, which talks of the context of how TB is spread.
Okay,
The one which you were playing a bit earlier. We can
Okay.
play that one now.
Okay, sure. This is the one, right?
You'll have to project that.
You haven't shared your screen yet.
One second, ma'am.
So please rewind and share your screen.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a second, please.
An estimated 1/3 of the world's population is infected. An estimated 1/3 of the world's population is infected with tuberculosis. 1/3. And here's the culprit, the minuscule bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. But does that mean 2.3 billion people are sick? Fortunately not. Only a small proportion of them actually become sick. To understand why, let's take a closer look at the bacterium itself. When someone with TB coughs, they expel little drops of saliva that fly into the air. Some of them may contain the TB mycobacteria, which can then be inhaled by someone close by. The mycobacteria then continue their journey down the respiratory tract and into the lungs. That person is then infected with TB. And this is where it all becomes a little more complicated. The body detects the invasion and sends out its first line of defense. This includes special cells called macrophages, which engulf the mycobacteria and transport them to the lymph nodes, where they are neutralized. If they're neutralized, the person will have what is called latent tuberculosis. This means they're infected with the bacterium, but they don't have active TB disease, and they're not sick. However, in 5% of cases, the immune system is overwhelmed. The TB mycobacteria multiply and escape, and the person falls ill. This often happens with young children, whose immune systems are not fully developed. In other cases, latent TB can wake up and become active TB. This can happen months later, or even years later, especially in adults with weak immune systems. For example, people who are HIV positive, or who've had organ transplants, or who are undergoing chemotherapy. Once in the lungs, the bacteria may spread via the bloodstream or the lymphatic system to other parts of the body, to the lymph nodes, bones and joints, the digestive system, the central nervous system, the liver, or the heart. So what happens when someone has active TB? Let's imagine the infections in the lungs, as this is the most commonplace. The patient starts coughing, has difficulty breathing, and suffers from chest pains. If these symptoms last for more than a few weeks and are accompanied by fever, night sweats, and weight loss, the doctor has good reason to suspect tuberculosis. The next stage is diagnosis, and then treatment. The battle is far from over.
Yeah, one more is, I think we will play this as well.
No, I think we can play that during the end.
No, we can do that later. I think we'll go back to Mr. Hiramat now.
Okay,
This we can play right at the end.
okay, no problem.
All right.
Yeah,
So thank you. I think that was an interesting, information sharing on TB through that small video. Thank you so much, Odette. And I think maybe we can start off with the panel discussion now. We had requested questions from the groups here in the Rotary Circle, and we had jotted down. We got some questions already from some of the people. So I have listed down, and I think I'll be asking the panelists one-on-one. The first question is to Dr. Kunal. So what is the significance of World TB Day, and is it important for India? And also, could you give some statistics about the disease to understand its importance and why it is so prevalent in our country?
I think that sets the context of our discussion today. So
Yeah.
World TB Day is basically, celebrated on noted on 24th of March. This was the day when the tubercle bacilli was discovered by Robert Koch. And why it is so important in the Indian context is that for a very long time, tuberculosis has been one of the most prevalent diseases in India, and one of the most prevalent, one of the highest mortalities have been attributed to this disease. And why it is also very important in the Indian scenario is because of its association with a lot of other diseases wherein the body is immunocompromised, for example, HIV positive patients. So that really increases the burden of disease in our country. Another thing that we need to understand is that tuberculosis is basically a disease which is airborne. So a lot of it is caused because of increased population density and the hygiene sense of living in general of the population. So India, ranks very high in population density, and also we do rank very low in terms of our hygiene. So that's why tuberculosis becomes a very, very important disease to reckon with. Throwing some light on the statistics, actually about 1 crore people are infected globally with tuberculosis, out of which 26%, that is 26 lakhs, are in India. So India forms, India is numero uno in terms of the disease burden globally. Also, about 4.5 lakhs of deaths occur in India. That is really about 30 to 35% of the global mortality. So when we look at these figures, we realize that the disease burden in India is quite high. From a time period between 2009 to 2019, tuberculosis has continued to be the 7th major, disease-causing mortality in India. So we haven't really been able to address the problem. And as you know, our goals keep shifting from eradicating TB in 2020 to 2025 to 2030. It keeps on shifting. And what has really happened in the current times, especially around the COVID scenario, is the fact that because of COVID, all the other programs that were running to prevent tuberculosis have taken a backseat. Okay, so that's why the theme for TB World TB Day 2021 is that the clock is ticking. So we have very little time to reach our goals that we have set over the years.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Kunal. So definitely it is alarming, and we can surely think about a way. So the next question, I think I'll go to Dr. Jayaraman. Jayaraman sir, you have been anchoring the disease prevention portfolio for Rotary. Could you add a bit of context on how this fits into Rotary framework and activities of relevance? Also, I know you can also talk about how Rotary has, pledged its support to eradicate polio across the world, and how, it can take up this TB eradication too. Over to you, Jayaraman sir.
Thank you, Rajesh. In fact, greetings to all who are in the Zoom call and my two fellow panelists, both of them experts in their area of work. In fact, Rajesh, this webinar brought me to do some Google search. Though I'm a director this year for the disease prevention, haven't known whether any TB, this one is work is going on. So I went into the Google search, and I'm very surprised to see 2017 itself, Rotary India, under the call to action for a TB-free India, has started a project with the International Union Against TB and Lung Disease, and has created a partnership through Rotary Foundation India, increasing its collaboration to about 32 Rotary districts in about 10 months. Now, I'm told that this activities it included organizing health camps, providing nutritional support to tuberculosis patients, and mobilizing network of Rotary clubs and other groups that saw everybody. So I think we have a track record. We have shown a lot of interest. Somewhere after that, it has come down. Maybe at that point of time, one of the RI directors, O.P. Das, was handling it. I think he's no more, or I think by that way, it has just gone down a little bit. And they have produced a very interesting booklet, which gives the total scenario of what we can do. I in fact shared it with Odette, that it gives what Rotary can do in the club wise, in the district wise, and all those things. An excellent program, which I would like to share it with you. Today morning, I shared it with one of the RI directors, Dr. Bharat Pandya, and he said, Jayaraman, I think we are going to restart everything from this year onwards. Next year, we will certainly go with that. So Rotary will take TB. I heard it in the other meeting also when goal setting was done between all of us. The strength which we are giving, as you rightly pointed out, is that our strengths of eradicating polio, that is the main issue. Everybody counts that when there was needed awareness to be created, and then there are a lot of myths to be busted. And then I know the days when we were all early Rotarians, we used to keep the cold chain for even taking the medicine across. To that level, everybody feels that Rotary can do a larger project like that. And Rotary is ideally suited for the TB because our connect to the community is large in that. As always in this area, Rotary has struck some vital partnership also in this with the TB and Lung Disease Association and REACH and Tata Trust. Tata Trust specifically, I think they had a program in Nagpur where they were driving a program for 14 Rotary clubs were there to see how data mining could be done. Take it and then if it is successful to be replicated in all those things. Even a celebrity like Amitabh Bachchan has lent his voice for a campaign where he says, I'm a TB survivor, but he had TB in the spine, and that somebody like him who has access to the best of healthcare can get TB. Imagine the plight of the ordinary people. The point is, government treatment is 100% for free for TB. There is no dearth of funds, money in the government. It just needs the right partnership. I think in this, Rotarians can do that. That is the main message which I would like to share.
Brilliant, Jayaraman sir. I think you said it very right. We can definitely drive it, and with you connecting to the leadership at the national level, I'm sure we can ensure TB also is out even before the deadline what Odette was mentioning. We have a lot of questions on technicalities actually. Before I go to Dr. Kunal, I have one question to you, Odette. You have been championing this national movement against spitting, and this makes it directly relevant to the spread of tuberculosis. Could you share more information about your movement, aims and strategies?
Yeah. So let me tell you, when we jumped into this, no doubt TB has been around in the country for decades. Spitting has been tolerated for generations, and nobody thinks twice when you see someone spitting on the street because it has been socially acceptable in India, unlike in some Western countries where it is completely, it's not acceptable. Now, last year on March 16th, what drew attention to this, the platform was actually COVID, because government was talking about masks, distancing and hand hygiene. And we were washing hands extra. In fact, even for TB prevention, Washing hands is one of the things, because if you have coughed into your hand, which is another thing, that's not the right way to cough. So we'll wait for Dr. Kunal to tell us the right cough etiquette, because spitting and improper cough etiquette are the two reasons in India why respiratory diseases continue to spread. So while we were being told the correct way to wash hands 20 seconds, if you can see beyond me here, there is a dead end which leads to a slum. And from my kitchen window, I was doing this and I looked out, and to my horror, I noticed a person spitting. And that is when it hit me, what is the use of this extensive precaution we are taking if government is not highlighting that spitting should get, it should become a preventive. So same day we took a petition to the Prime Minister. It went viral. In 3 weeks, we crossed 41,000. And on 15th of April, spitting became a punishable offense. Now, the next thing after that is it became a punishable offense, which means the route is enforcement. But in a country of 1.3 billion people, say 50% of or more of them spit. Every time someone spits, there is not someone there to put a fine, right? So the real change will come not from enforcement, but awareness. And as Mr. Jairam was rightly saying, for the polio program, it was the awareness building that really made a difference. This is when Beautiful Bengaluru, which as we are also known as Beautiful Bharat, and working for cleaner, greener public spaces, this is when we decided that we will add this campaign of Stop India Spitting as a core focus for our team. And we are not talking of Stop Spitting India, because there we are only addressing that group who spits. But when we say Stop Spitting India, we are talking to everyone who spits, irrespective of whether or not they spit. And therefore it is a call. I think this is distracting. Can you remove it from the screen, Tasleel, because people will be listening to it rather than me. We'll come back to that later. So what we really want people to do, whether or not you spit, you have a role to play in this. So we have launched this movement. We have two targets. One is those who themselves spit. Let me tell you what you may see on the street. They are wearing masks. They lift it, spit, and put it back. You would have all witnessed that. The fact that they are wearing a mask means they don't want to get COVID. The fact that they are spitting means they don't get the link between the saliva and the coronavirus. And that is the crux of what our campaign has been for this last year, to bridge this knowledge gap and let people know if you spit, you are actually fostering the spread of COVID. So this is the first part. Second part is our target be those who don't spit. 90% of them, if you ask them, what will you do if you're walking on the street and someone spits? 90% of them say we turn the other way because it's so disgusting, we want to tune it out. Take a person who's walking on the road and spitting, everybody turns the other way, he happily continues to spit because there is no deterrent. It is a license to continue unrestrained. But if while he's walking, 10 people tell him, Ugi beda, oh, are bhai kyun thuk rahe, whatever be the language, he's going to realize this is not acceptable. So those who don't spit are target B. We would like them to get involved, and we would like them to understand what they need, how they respond when they see someone spitting. So these are the two things. So the whole campaign is built on awareness building, and our strategy is to ramp up across the country. So in Bangalore itself, when we started in the first 3 months, we had about 25 partners. We have, including organizations like Rotary or the other RWA community groups like Whitefield Rising, Bengaluru Foundation, Bangalore Apartments Federation. So we have many partners across the city. And now we have built partners across the country. They could be individuals, they could be NGOs, they could be government bodies. So any of you listening, if you know of someone who is very bothered about spitting or cleaner public spaces, please connect them to us. So immediately I'm telling you, our email ID is stopindiaspitting@gmail.com. Very easy to remember. Ask them to connect with us because the spread of this campaign is through partnering with people who can. So we have the strategy. We want people to help roll out the strategy, but we are also definitely willing to hear others' experience. There are many other people who are actually doing work on this. We are partnered with an organization called Spit Free India. They are based in Pune. I think they may be also on this call. They have been doing work on this for 10 years. They jumped into this when TB was the main thing. We jumped into it because of COVID, but the movement continues, and the aim is to partner together across the country in all states. Together eradicate the habit of COVID, but it gives COVID actually presented the country with a chance to get rid of this habit once and for all by putting in measures.
So actually a fantastic initiative. Kudos to all of you. And I think maybe we can even try pushing it through the younger group. I think the children, school children, the college children need to be educated there. I talk and when they notice somebody spitting on the road and they go and tell them, I think it makes a lot of difference. The younger India definitely should be looped in for this activity.
Like one more line, we are doing a lot of work through schools, colleges, webinars. So anyone with contacts with schools, colleges, please connect us. We are happy to take the children through what they can do, and they can contribute to campaign resources. I'll bring that in later also.
Wonderful. Okay, I will also connect you to the Scout, National India Movement, so you can cascade to the entire country for the set people there. Wonderful. Now we have one question to Dr. Kunal. Kunal, how long does this virus or bacteria in the saliva live? When spit falls on the road, how does this infection actually spread? Can you also highlight the right way one should cough to prevent the spread of disease?
Going one by one to the question that you've put forth. There are no. So first of all, as per tuberculosis per se, it's a bacteria. But in general, if we talk about the viability of virus and bacteria in the sputum, they can live up to even 6 months, unless they have adequate lighting, UV light or something like that falls on them. They can even live up to 6 months. Now, coming to the next part of the question, which was that how exactly does it spread with, spit that has fallen on the ground? So we need to understand that the tubercle bacilli, the size of the tubercle bacilli is very small. It is less than 0.5 microns. So, most of the tubercle bacilli don't fall on the ground. They usually remain suspended in the air when either a person is spitting or a person is coughing or singing or speaking in general. So it is aerosols which are the main causative factor for a person to be infected with TB. Coming to the fact about the proper way of coughing, as Odette has already mentioned previously, that people who cough into their hands, that's not the right way to cough. You should actually be coughing into your shoulder or in the elbow. That is the right way to cough, because it is these hands.
Add a line. There are many who don't even cough into the hands. They cough straight away into the air because there is no cough ethic. Those who cover the hands, at least they want to cover.
In India, you will even find people who, out of sheer humor, they will cough in your face. I mean, we are living in a country of jingoism of all sorts. So not that I myself am a proud Indian, but having said that, I think we are too used to the liberties and freedom that we have, and maybe it's very difficult to contain a population that is this big unless you are as strict as a government that exists in China. So leaving those parts aside, so that is what somebody needs to do. So we need to understand that it is through these aerosols that it generally spreads. Another very important point is that was already highlighted in the video, that being infected with tuberculosis and having the disease tuberculosis are two completely different entities. Most of us are probably infected with TB, but it is only when our immune system really goes down that we get TB as a disease. This is quite akin to being HIV positive and having AIDS. Those are two completely different entities. So more so, you will see the burden of TB rising, as I told you, associations with HIV positive patients and a lot of other immunocompressed diseases as well.
Okay, Doctor, thank you. So, Odette, this is a personal question, I had in mind. Normally this spitting is a habit that our country has tolerated for generations, right? And I see that you have done a survey. Can you please share what are some of the reasons people get, if they have any solutions? I think you would have done a lot of analysis, right? Maybe you can share some insight here.
I've done research, and I will be amused to know it is now dinner time conversation in my home. We don't feel dirty about it. And like you have, you say lightning comes before thunder. In the spitting also, there is, first they make that noise from the throat before it actually comes. So there's a time lapse. I don't know how many of you have seen the movie My Name is Khan. It's a few years ago, Shah Rukh Khan. And the South Indians can't pronounce that kh sound well, right? We say Khan. So he was trying to say, how do you pronounce Khan? And he used the phrase from the tortoise. So I will bring it out from here. It's like the thunder before the lightning. Now, the reason, as you said, I'll tell you from the survey, but also in the last 1 year, I have been having conversations with people on the street. Lots of conversations which have given me a lot more information. One of the biggest reasons that people spit is they believe that saliva is a waste from the body, just like urine or excreta. And the fact that you're asking them, why are you spitting? You're supposed to, expel it, confirm that it is actually good for digestion. And now I have learned with my newfound knowledge on the subject over the last year, that saliva contains the digestive enzyme amylase, which is good for breaking down protein in the stomach, right,
Absolutely.
Dr. Kunal? So it is actually good for us to swallow it. So the first thing is a gap in understanding that we have to spit it out because it's dirty. So in the awareness building, if you're talking of solutions, this is one of the solutions that we are telling people. Please swallow. There is no harm in swallowing it. It is actually good for you. In fact, you may feel more thirsty if you keep on spitting, like a sort of dehydration, but more importantly, your body needs the digestive enzyme in the saliva. Second, to those, a lot of them spit, of course, out of habit. Genuine people where they may spit because, let's say, phlegm came in the throat, or because of the pan gutka, which is not a genuine bigger issue. We can't tell people to stop that overnight habit. But if someone really has to spit because of that reason, first is find a toilet, spit only in the toilet. I tell my building security, who are the pan chewers, you know that you will be doing rounds, correct? When you decide when to put the pan in your mouth. So when you are ready to spit, you are near the toilet. That is one kind of planned solution. Second is spit into a tissue, make sure that tissue goes into a bin and make sure to follow the hand hygiene after that. Or for people out on the street, actually there is a concept of personal spittoon. Amazon is selling it for 200 rupees if you just type. But we are telling people, keep one small dabba if you really have to spit, right? In fact, for TB, the kit which they give along with the medicines, they are planning to include a kit, something like this. So rather than spitting anywhere and everywhere, the spit is contained in a dabba, which you take back home and you can wash it just as you would wash your hands, right? So the solutions are there. Other reasons why people spit, there is the lower income groups feel like they are, what should I say? It is a way of expressing that we feel suppressed, a way of getting out your anger. It is a sign of disrespect. There are some religious reasons also. I was quite surprised when I did a webinar for students of not government schools of educated children from well-to-do families. One of them told me that I have friends who spit every time they see a black cat. It is a superstition that they have to immediately spit. So there are a host of reasons. Pollution is one of the biggest reasons. You take people in the construction industry, they are all the time working in dust. So they can't go to the toilet every time to spit, they spit then and there. I was so happy recently to pass by, those of you near on Hosu Road where the metro is coming up opposite Johnson Market, you will see a full sign in front, very large sign saying construction site, tobacco free site, no smoking, no spitting, in very large this thing. So they are becoming aware and they are putting the precautionary signs. So one of the solutions, of course, is to have precautionary signs, because that tells people why they should stop spitting. And one last thing on the solutions, I don't know if you can see this sign. We have a simple sign which saying no spitting, please, spitting spreads corona, directly linking disease spread with spitting. This we are telling everyone, just put it at the entrance of your building or your apartment, in your local shop. If people didn't know that spitting spreads disease or corona or TB, they know it now. if they knew it, it's a reminder. And wherever this sign is there, this is a simple A4 sign. You can download it from our website, beautifulbengaluru.org. Wherever the sign is there, people are saying that we are seeing that the spitting has come down. So the point is that we have to get many more people involved to be able to spread the messaging and dissuade those who spit out of habit.
Wonderful, Odette. So I think it makes a lot of sense. All of us have such good thoughts. We think about it once or twice when we have time, but we don't have that time or that passion to continue it and take it further, like how we have been driving. Definitely, we'll all join hands with you. We will
Yeah.
ensure, we will take it to the
Yes,
next level.
sir, sorry for interrupting. So here we have a lot of medical students who are in final year nursing. I think maybe Kunal sir can address them as well. Lot of students from Golden Institute of Nursing Science, they have joined us today. Thanks to Principal Jiva Rani for making this happen. So I think you can advise the students, sir.
Sure. So I welcome all who are a part of my community and my fraternity, and so it's very important for us to address issues which are more common and which are prevalent right around all of us. Um, I mean, nursing students and eventually the nurses to be, they play a very important role in taking care of the patients, in doing things that uh, that are very personal to the patients, and even for debilitated patients and patients in their final stages. So I work very intricately with the Fortis Cancer Institute, and we see a lot of people, uh, in their final stages of life, in their final stages of disease. So nurses and nursing students have a very important role to play in all of this. So I would, really welcome you all to be a part of our discussion today. And secondly, I would like you to keep spreading your message even in the normal, even in the non-medical fraternity, so that just making everybody aware of common basic etiquettes which attribute towards a better healthy living. Because you see, we should not wait for something like a corona or something like a pandemic that affects lives so at such a magnitude to understand what has been going wrong over centuries. And spitting definitely is one of those things. To add to what Audette was saying, spitting is even a form of fashion. I've seen a lot of people doing it just, oh, how do you spit? You are that cool chillax bhai of the society, and you are in that gang of boys, and then you are having that pan gutka, you feel, you are one of those really fashionable people. So it's just a very bad mindset that really needs a lot of change. And we've seen what COVID taught us, that being at homes, being restricted, it actually improved environment in general. I mean, animals came out, the pollution went down, air and water quality became better. So that just goes to show what harm we've been doing to the planet. So I feel all of us, especially the medical professionals, we have a responsibility to make the non-medical people more aware of how we should go about general things in life, so that our health stays pretty much sustained. So I feel that should be enough.
Yeah, thank you, Kunal. I think hats off to all the nursing staff here. You're all really, doing some human service to the society. We cannot measure it in any sort. The support what the doctors and the medical fraternity have done, particularly during the pandemic, is really, we owe to all of you. Thank you so much.
Rajesh sir,
So I would just like to add that it is. Just to add to the importance and just to throw some light on that, whatever notes we give or whatever instructions we give as doctors, those are on paper. To execute them and to give a personalized touch to all the patients is the job of a nursing professional. So that is where they score so beautifully in terms of humanity in general. And I feel that we are just absolutely incomplete as medical professionals without them.
Yeah, you are all really angels here, God angels. Thank you so much for dedicating your time for this honorable service.
Rajesh sir, these students had helped us on polio vaccination day as well.
Oh,
Almost 200
wonderful.
nursing students were there with us who helped Rotary Bangalore Manthaneta North Side. We had 31 booths. So these nursing students had helped us. So almost
Fantastic.
200 students were there, sir.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. So we move on. I think we have another 2 or 3 more questions. I think another 10 more minutes. Kunal, can you talk about this question? See, is the use of public spittoon safe from a medical point of view? A quick answer from you.
So this is a very controversial topic in general, because see, spittoons do help us to at least contain the way somebody is spitting. They are not spitting in general in public like that, and it's not an open way of spitting. But what we need to understand is that they need to be adequately treated. Like even if it's a personal spittoon, those are pretty safe to use. If somebody is just walking around with one and you feel like spitting and you have a lid on them. But then you see near these pan shops, there are these public spittoons, which are just basically open boxes or drums, plastic drums, and people are just spitting left, right, and center. Those are actually breeding grounds of infection. And especially in diseases like TB and COVID, those can be very, very dangerous. So, that is something that we need to keep in mind.
Okay. Yeah. And what if
I can just add,
yeah.
If I can just add to what he's saying, rather than people reaching the stage where it's a habit to spit, it's okay to continue spitting. Where do I spit? I think we need to rewind the movement to get them to understand why they should stop spitting. If you tell them 10 times, 15 times, they are not going to stop overnight. But every time they spit, it's a thing of, the awareness building. Every time they spit, they are going to realize they should not be spitting. The habit will slowly come down. I had a habitual spitter of a maid. And in fact, it used to be amusing that she used to spit from the balcony, and I used to scold her and she said, no, I didn't spit from the balcony. I'll go spit in your basin. But over time she realized and she actually stopped spitting. I even told her, what is the harm? One of the things which we tell people is you look at all the people around you, see the more educated people, the Saab log, I say, put it that way. Though I don't say it's a class problem. There are people of higher income groups equally who spit from balconies. But when I tell people on the road, Saab log dekh ke, do you see them spitting? They say no. I say, why? They swallow it. You also start swallowing, so that is one way of, I think, persuading people. Sorry, Mr. Hiram, I interrupted you.
Swallowing, does it not affect the body actually? Supposing I swallow, will that have a negative impact?
No, not at all. In fact, there are many positive impacts of swallowing many a times. And,
really?
In general, it keeps your throat moist to start with. Otherwise, you will probably feel, especially on days when you're fasting, if you don't swallow your saliva, I mean, it becomes very, very difficult.
Fine, but supposing there is a sputum there, and, they would want to cough. But if they swallow, I think there's no issues.
So, yeah, I mean, if you're talking about an infective phlegm and somebody really needs to cough it out. So as Audette had, mentioned earlier, there are ways to do that. But in general, just gulping down your saliva doesn't really cause any harm. In fact, there are many, many benefits. I can share like a list of them.
Really?
Just to share some of the examples, for those of you who have traveled in flights, you get your eustachian tube blocked many a times, and the way to actually, prevent that from happening is to keep swallowing your saliva.
Correct.
Many of us do that, especially while we are, coming down.
The body automatically does it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the eustachian tube has an opening in the throat.
So
when you swallow your saliva, it kind of keeps it open. Otherwise, you can have middle ear tympanic membrane ruptures and, middle ear infections especially when you're coming down in the flight. So there are many such examples. But, I really need, what I want to share with everybody is that this is a problem that lies in the core of our behavior and the way we live in general. It's just a matter of fact. You see how many people, despite the cameras that you have, they tend to bunk traffic lights, So even law imposition will not change things. So I genuinely believe that we should start calling out people now. If you see somebody breaking the lights, start taking their pictures and then number plates. Somebody you see spitting, start calling them out that what are you doing exactly? Start recording these things. Because unless you start embarrassing them and, you call them out, I have seen nothing really stops. I mean, it's just been the same way that we've been going on along. In fact, to tell you, we've had policies implemented against smoking, against spitting, even through the government around the time that COVID really started spreading, in the initial phases, you've probably seen cigarettes haven't really come down. Smoking hasn't really come down. Spitting hasn't really gone down. It's life as usual, despite the mortality that was associated in the initial phases. So we really need to change a lot that goes in our thinking and the way of life.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So Odette, this one is for you. See, now I think we all get to know that prevention is the best way forward, right? So how does your campaign make this more likely to happen and gets residents involved? Are there any resources they can actually use that can make it easier and more interesting?
So there's plenty of stuff we are constantly coming up with. I'm going to show you all like a 45-second video, which was made by a group of youngsters. So anyone here who has friends, family who are into creating stuff, we'd love to pull in more resources. Taslil, you can give me screen share. Can I do the screen share?
Sure.
Yeah, I have the screen share. So I'm going to show you, yeah. So actually, okay, before that, I'm just showing you this video. Sorry, just
you
a
can
minute.
extend,
Yeah. I have to.
just maximize it, ma'am.
Yes. 1 minute.
At the corner, here it is. The left-hand corner, yeah.
ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇಡೀ ದಿನ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಆಟ ಆಡುತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರು. ಹೀಗಿರುವಾಗ ಕೊರೋನಾ ಅಥವಾ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಎಂಬುವ ವೈರಾಣುವು ಬಂದಿತು. ಕೊರೋನಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಿತ್ರನಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ
So this I'm showing you just to tell you, this is the kind of videos that we are coming up with. This is done by a 11th standard student, my screen and her video. And through this, what we have ended up doing, we are actually now, we've got this in different languages. And we are playing this through NGOs in village schools. The one I'm going to show you now. So I don't know how many of you are Beatles fans and know Come Together. You can watch that on our playlist. I've given the playlist in the video, in the chat. This one is made by it. The animals are the actors.
Very nice, Odette. Yeah.
Very nice,
So
very nice.
what I want to say is that, let me back the screen. What I want to say, I've stopped the screen share, correct?
Yeah, you stopped. Yeah.
So through these kind of interesting ways that everyone wants to watch. We've got an English Hindi rap. I'm getting Kannada rap. So we are putting out the message, don't spit. If you see others spitting, tell them not to spit, in a really many interesting ways. We're trying to pull in dance. We've had a national quiz. So what I'm saying is it need not be a boring subject for people. And it is something that COVID has given us a chance to make literally, this can be a turning point for the country, but that can only happen if everyone who doesn't spit gets involved. Therefore, I request each of you going forward from today, whenever you see someone spitting, please bring to their attention that they are spreading disease. Explain politely, number one. Number two, please access. You can see the chat. I have put the drive link. You can access all our videos, all our posters, and the playlist. So lots of stuff like this. If you know people who are creating that, please connect them with us. And this is where I think Rotary can also help, because through the Rotary network, we can spread this out, get a lot more people talking about the subject. I think that becomes very important.
Yeah, right, Odette. I think you said it right. And now I think the last question to Rotarian Jairaman. So, sir, we have seen that this is a very required initiative, and Rotary should definitely take this up. And what are the ways you think that Rotary clubs can impact this problem of spitting and cough etiquette?
I think the first point is that we should stop. Anybody who has got the idea of spitting anywhere, I think should stop spitting first. At the
Yeah.
individual level, we become the messengers. I think people look at us and take the message from us. We
Correct.
should tell them spitting spread diseases and no spitting, please. And those who split to stop and just you don't walk away the other side, let them spit, they are not spitting on us, kind of a thing. Explain patiently. So it needs a little bit of our compassion and then kind of work we are do for the Rotary.
Yeah.
And as Oded was mentioning, that if you are in an apartment and all those things, please do talk to the the guards and the vendors and all those things, saying that don't spit, because this is a nice place, let us all together can keep it nice, kind of. And the buildings and shops and all, you can show the posters, which beautiful posters you can put it, because it is your own apartment, nobody has to take permission, you can put it and all those things. And keep the subject as an alive in conversation, to everybody, saying that spitting is bad, this is causing this kind of thing, corona was a part of it, TB was a part of it. This is as for the individual level is concerned. Club level, that we have great connectivity with schools, colleges and all those things. We have a Interact, we have a Rotract, and we have another, we all Rotarians, many of us are part of any industries and all those things. I think we have to make them all our partners in this Stop India Spitting, and create groups and all. And again, we have this normal, usual posters making and all those things, which gives the children the correct idea or correct process, how to, drives the messages very clearly. So this is going to be one, and then Rotary has to now start, I'm sure next year, with all those support with people like you, we will have this sensitization about the tuberculosis and connect it with Stop Spitting India. So that would be the one of the things. And we have, I think we should ask Odette to join Rotary and become a part of it, and
Yes.
Kunal also to become a Rotarian, so that we all together we can focusedly work on this, because we need people who could take it focusedly, because otherwise driving force may not be there. So that I would like to say, do join and invite them to be part of it.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
very well
And
said.
Odette, whether you want to play that TB video?
yes, we can play that video, Taslil. It's I think only 15-20 seconds.
Yeah.
But what I want to say to everyone, end of this session, I hope you have figured out that the only way ahead is that we all spread Stop India Spitting Fever faster than either coronavirus or tuberculosis bacteria is spreading. That's the only way forward. Are there any other people who have any questions? I think all the questions were typed and you have taken care of it, right? Because we have reached the 7:02.
Yeah. Any
Is there
questions from any of the audience?
Any pressing question?
I have to unmute, I guess.
If anyone raises the hand, if they would like to say something. Anyone can raise the hand if they have anything to say. Okay, I think you can play that then. Taslim, the
Sure,
final.
ma'am. Yeah.
You can mute everybody again.
You can mute everybody.
No, we're not able to see your screen.
Somebody able to,
Please share your screen. Yeah.
one second, sir. One second. Someone,
Request.
yeah, it's mute all. One second, ma'am. Just give me a second, please.
The screen is not shared. Yeah, the
My
screen.
screen is not shared. I don't know what happened. One second. Yeah, it's getting shared. 1 second. Yeah, now
Yeah, we can see that now.
you can see, no? Okay, done. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah. Everyone can see, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Really alarming. Yeah, seriously.
Very powerful video. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes. We're on time. Good. That
Yeah. Thank you so much, all the panelists. Over to you, Taslin, for the vote of thanks.
I think 1 second. Ramesh, are you online? Ramesh, our secretary. 1 second.
I think you should call. You should make the.
Okay, let me just yeah. Okay. Anyways, thanks to all who are present here on behalf of Rotary Manyata as well as 319 District 3190. I thank Mr.
Kunal.
Jayaraman
Dr.
sir,
Kunal.
yeah, Kunal sir, yeah, Dr. Kunal Sharma, a member of COVID Consultative Group, Dr. Rotarian Jayaraman sir, our Rajesh Hiremat sir, as well as Audit, who has taken this initiative, and it's a pleasure working with her, ma'am. It's a pleasure to work with you, ma'am. So I guess we will do more such sort of webinars as well as events, as well as we are coming up with 3 Rotaract groups now, 2 nursing colleges as well as 1 college. I guess I'll have at least thousands of students now. So we will have a very good force. I think maybe in future we'll have a very good campaigning as well as you said, I think we can do some street programs, all that stuff. Church Street, all the Saturday, Sundays, they are, I think last 3 months, they're already doing it. Some few other programs, all that. At least we can also add with that such some more some of these initiatives. Thanks one and all. And especially,
Ramesh has written, he is there to please unmute him.
oh my
Ramesh is
God,
listening.
1 second.
Anyway.
Okay. Ramesh, are you there? Ramesh is our secretary. Ramesh, are you there? Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, yeah, because 66, 67, you were lost in between. I was just searching for you.
Yeah.
No, no problem. Anyway, go ahead. Anyway,
Yeah,
you are.
so already. And my special thanks to Golden Institute of Nursing Science students who were always with us for this polio drive as well as for some other whatever cause. And they are very closely working with primary health centers in Agre Nagar. So we are also working very closely. So the students are also working very closely. Maybe we will come to a single platform and we'll do a lot more things coming days. I think Kunal sir, I'll be in touch with you. Maybe we can do something else also. Sir.
Absolutely.
So thanks
forward.
all. So it's wonderful having with us today, this evening. So Jayaraman sir, anyways, always you are there with us. Kunal sir, as well as our
Thank you.
Rajesh Hiremat sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good evening.